Are you struggling to stay motivated through injury and rehab? Don't worry, because we're here to help you through it. What's good, people? It's Nathan here from Cryotherapy UK Sheffield, and in today's video we're going to be looking at how you can stay motivated when you've sustained an injury and help you stick towards your exercise rehab program. So guys, we know more than anybody how frustrating and annoying it can be when you've sustained an injury. When we sustain an injury, it feels like the road to recovery is never ending. However, if we are conscious and aware of the difficulties and obstacles that we may face, it can help us to push through and break through those barriers and stay on track to becoming fully fit. So here are our 4 stages of recovery which you may face when you're going through your rehab program and help you to progress and stay on track. So number 1 is the honeymoon phase. So you've just sustained your injury, pain levels are through the roof, your range of motion isn't there, you can't do what you normally do. So you get on the phone, you book yourself straight into a therapist. You're doing the rehab, you're doing the exercises, everything's going perfect, and then on day 3, you've re-aggravated your injury. So we call this the honeymoon stage because this is when engagement is at the highest. You're very motivated, you're on it, you want to do everything in your power to make sure your injury heals to its maximum capacity. However, during this stage, you are susceptible to re-aggravate your injury. So take a less is more approach. There is a thing of doing too much too soon, and if you do too much too soon, you re-injure yourself, which will then onset your recovery and healing time and make it even longer. So as we said, take a less is more approach, do simple exercises in the beginning and acute stage, and build it up to more advanced exercises when your body is feeling as though it can and when your therapist advises you to do so. So the next stage and phase number 2 is disengagement. So congratulations, you've got through the first few weeks without re-aggravating your injury or re-injuring yourself. However, you feel that your injury isn't progressing the way it should, and you feel like the work that you or your therapist was doing at the beginning isn't quite working and is as effective as it was in the beginning. So this can cause us to become a little bit disengaged, slack off with our exercises, slack off with our rehab, and not adhere to our program. Remember guys, injury severity and recovery time are directly correlated. So if you sustain a big injury, it's going to take an equal and maximum and longer time for that to then heal. Try to lower your expectations in this stage to make sure you don't get disappointed, and understand that you may need more time for your injury to heal. So give yourself a lot more time, book more than 1 session, keep up with the exercises, stay consistent if you want your injury to get back to where it needs to be quicker. However, remember, the body cannot heal physiologically quicker than it can heal. So even if you are doing everything, remember, it can only heal in the time that it can. So don't get too disappointed if you don't see the progressions straight away. Another good little handy tip is to set yourself short-term goals and look at what your body can do rather than what it can't do. So obviously being positive in this situation can help you to stay motivated and adhere to your program. So like I say, look at what your body can do and what it can't do, and rather than monitoring and measuring yourself on a daily basis, measure it from week to week. So for example, you may not have been able to walk last week. Well, from day to day, your walking may not have improved much. However, if you look at it from the week before, you may not have even been able to walk or put any weight on your leg. So measure yourself from a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Think about where you was in the beginning rather than looking at it day to day and looking at the small changes. So the next stage, and stage 3, is stalling. So at this point, guys, you are now pain free. So you've stopped doing all your exercises altogether. You're not as consistent. You start talking yourself out of doing them, and finding an excuse, and all of a sudden everything else is at the top of your priority list. So in this stage, it is very, very important to remember that pain is the first symptom of any injury to go. So it takes a lot longer to get things back, like the strength, the mobility, the range of motion, the stability, all these kind of things. So at this stage, it's even more important that we keep doing our exercises to make sure all of these things come back. Okay, so when we injure any part of our body, so when we sustain an injury, it will only really ever be 80% as good as what it was before. So in order to get back to this 80%, we need to make sure that we're doing our exercises, our rehab, and sticking to our program. So in order to reduce boredom and keep motivated during this stage, try more advanced techniques, so more advanced exercises, increase resistance, any little thing just to keep yourself progressing and make your exercises and your rehab program a little bit more challenging and a little more advanced, and give it a little bit more variation. Also, it's a handy idea to book in a few maintenance sessions with your therapist, as they may be able to provide some sort of treatment, hands-on techniques which you can't apply and do yourself, and also be able to give you some more advice and point in that right direction of being able to advance your rehab program and your exercises. So guys, stage 4 and the final stage of the recovery is accountability. Now this stage is the most important aspect of the 4 stages of recovery. Okay, so holding yourself accountable for your own injuries and nursing your own injuries back to what it was is the most important stage of the 4-stage recovery. So if you think about it like this and using the 80-20% rule, 80% of your recovery goes to yourself and 20% goes to the therapist. Okay, so if you think about it on a weekly basis, whatever your period of seeing your therapist is, you're by yourself and with yourself more than you are with your therapist. You're probably only seeing and being with your therapist 20% of that week. So what you do outside of sessions and between sessions is very, very important and vital for your recovery. If you think about it like this, you wouldn't even be seeing your therapist if you didn't put the power in your own hands, pick up the phone, dial that number and get yourself booked in. So well done for taking the first steps towards recovery. So as I said earlier, what you do between sessions and after sessions counts the most. So ask yourself questions like, am I doing enough? Have I doing too little? Have I done something to re-aggravate my injury? Have I given up too soon? Am I being consistent enough? Have I booked enough sessions? Keep putting the onus on yourself, and then you'll start to recover and get yourself back to where you need to be. A therapist can give you all the advice in the world, but you know your body better than anyone else. Once you take ownership and responsibility for your own rehab and realize that the power and the control is in your hand, nobody can stop you on the road to recovery. So remember guys, the power is in your hands. So guys, that concludes today's video on how to stay motivated during your injury and rehab program and the 4 stages of recovery. If you need any further advice, don't hesitate to drop us a message. As always, if you found the video useful and you really liked it, hit the thumbs up and give us a like. Share the video with all your close family and members who may need to listen to this and hear this video and listen to the advice. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date on all our other videos and all our other latest uploads and releases. And as always, follow us on all social media platforms. Really appreciate you watching guys. Thanks so much. See you in the next one. Peace.